Let's go. What's happening? Everybody, can you hear me? My folks on TikTok, can you hear me? My folks on YouTube, can you hear me? My folks on Instagram, can you hear me? It is Dr. Jamar Montgomery of drjamarmontgomery.com. Thank you everyone for rocking with me and for taking this time out of your evening to come and speak to me. And this message right now is for black men, and it was put on my heart. Black men are going to be in trouble underneath a Kamala Harris presidency. Let me repeat it again. Under a Kamala Harris presidency, black men will be in trouble. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? What do I mean by black men being in trouble during a Kamala Harris presidency? Look at the fact that now, at this time, that in the last 30 days of the election, Kamala Harris decides that she now wants to target black men and to speak directly to the issues of black men. Well, there's a problem with that, being that she had as a woman that is saying that she's a black woman, right? That the immediate conversation the immediate conversation wasn't about how black men can support her. In fact, there seemed to be more of a chastisement of black men because she felt, or the campaign felt, like there wasn't this major support of her, even though anywhere from 70 to 80%, even though 70 to 80% of black men are actually voting for Kamala Harris. Right? Let's put that into perspective. 70 to 80% of black men are voting for Kamala Harris. But when it comes down to the issues of black men, the reason why I say black men will be in trouble during her presidency is because of none of her policies were directed towards black men until this last 30 days, this last 30-day push. You always have to look at who is on her team advising her, and also what are the policies that are being pushed as a result of uh, of of her particular campaign team. And sorry, y'all, my glasses are speaking to me, so I keep getting distracted because it's telling me when people join in. But what's up? It's Scott Coleman. What's going on, Sean Milley? What's happening? Sean Milley. I didn't know he was following me. Sean Milley is a artist. Let's see. So, there we go. Cool on Instagram. Now, black men, black men are the voting bloc that Kamala Harris didn't realize that she needed. She did not realize that she needed black men until later on in the race, which is okay. Which is okay. Dude, anything that helps everyone helps black men. Diddy's counting on the full part. That's funny. And she said anything that helps everyone helps black men. Not necessarily. Does immigration policy help black men? Does abortion, or as they say AB, help black men? The 25K down payment on a home. Too many want something for free. Nothing is free, and I feel that Kamala Harris wanted the black male vote for free, and that's why later on in her candidacy, she decided that she was going to put out her positions for black men. But when you look at it, it's not specifically for black men; it's for all people. And said 20K small business loans. Yeah, 20K small business loans. Let's see how many of those go to black entrepreneurs. Even though it was written in her policy. The problem is that there were policy positions that she could have tagged along with from the contract of Black America that Ice Cube first put it forward. But did she? No. Myra Reynolds said, "Will Kamala pardon Diddy?" You know what? I don't have anything to do with that, and I don't know nothing about it. Sean Irvin said, "Montgomery 2028." You know, it's funny. It's funny. We'll see. We'll see. What's probably going to end up happening is I'm going to probably be one of the kingmakers. Be one of the kingmakers. We'll see. Let me guess. You wanted no more child support. Mustafa Morris That's funny. That's funny. I just want the state to be out of my business and stop violating the constitutional rights of fathers. Rakim Yaw said, "Are you a Trump supporter?" I'm a Trump voter, not necessarily the biggest supporter of Trump, but this was the first time that I voted for Trump, and in fact, this was the first time in the last 8 years that I didn't put a protest vote. Um, Once again, the thing is people ask me why did I vote for Trump, and the reason why I voted for Trump was for his crypto policy, for his tax policy, for the Second Amendment and ABs. Many people can tell you why they're not voting for a candidate, but can't tell you why they are voting for a particular candidate. And those are the things that are most important to me. Are the those three things, right? Uh, People can talk about the economy, people can talk about the border, people can talk about all these particular other issues, but I'm mostly focused on the issues that affect my pockets. Rakim Yaw said, so ignore that he's a racist. I don't believe that Donald Trump is any more of a racist than Joe Biden. Um, and in fact, I would say this is that Trump is more prejudiced than he is racist, and he's more prejudiced against people who aren't rich. Um, Mustafa Moore said, "Do you make more than 600,000 a year?" Mm, I don't need to discuss that. Mustafa Moore said, "So you don't care about your family?" I mean, those are a lot of interesting things that you're saying. I'm more than willing to bring you up so that you can say your piece. But yeah, the thing about it is that for black men are in trouble because black men do not understand what their true interests are. Black men do not understand what is actually important to them, and because of that, we get hit with the okey doke on these particular candidates. And what policies that might be good for you, policies and candidates that might be good for you on a local level may not necessarily match up when you go on a national level. Let's see, the AB issue is more important for the safety of women and baby safety. I'm sure this as well. That's one way of looking at it. I'm not talking about the safety of babies. I'm not talking about when it's medically necessary. I'm talking about when it's as a result of sexually irresponsible behavior by a mother and a father. And the thing about AB is that it violates the property rights and parental rights of a father. So that's one way of looking at it. Rakim Yaw said lots of excuses concerning Trump. No, it's just recognizing that neither candidate is perfect. Each candidate has their flaws, and when people start talking about him being racist, I want to know. Um, when I had dinner with President Trump, I didn't get racist vibes from him. Um, I didn't get racist vibes from him when I listened to his rhetoric. Yeah, is it some of the stuff ignorant and old school? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Is some of it not politically correct? Absolutely, but we didn't get him to be politically correct. We got him to be a disruptor. Let's see. Um, JJ said, "Who you voting for?" I voted for Trump. Study after study shows that Trump economic policies will give more to the wealthy. Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that the wealthy oftentimes know how to take advantage of the tax code, and when everyday citizens like us start to learn how to take advantage of the tax code, um, we'll be able to see a lot more of our wealth. That's something to think about. Montgomery 2028. See you all there for the vote. I appreciate that, Sean. Um, let's see. CLH Publishing said, "Wow, they never show proof of him being racist." Exactly, they never show proof. Rakim Yaw said, "No false equivalencies." Hey, man, I'm willing to bring you up if you want to talk about it. Love to hear your perspective. Love to hear your perspective. Let's see. Can you agree that he sits firmly in his whiteness and is protected by it? I would sit. If I was, let me put it like this. Yes, yes, I can say that. I can say that. And that's one of the benefits of being wealthy and one of the benefits of being white, right? So any advantage that you have, let alone be an unfair advantage, you should take advantage of, and uh, you should never allow anyone to Never apologize for your success and no excuses for your failures. No excuses for your failures and no apologies for your success. So, hey, you've been born with this advantage and you took full advantage of it. Okay. All right. Good for you. I'm happy for you. You should. If you had that kind of advantage, you should take advantage of it. And shame on you if you don't take the advantages that you've had and made the most of it. It's part of the American dream. And I think for us as black folks, is we've been trying to live the American dream, but it been expecting for people to play fair, and it is not about playing fair. It is not about playing fair. It is about playing to win, point blank. Period. And as long as black folks do not take the stance and perspective of playing to win, we're always going to lose. Dude, you voted for Trump. Let's see. Dude, you voted for Trump. You do realize they had nooses at the White House. Where? Show me pictures, and you're more than welcome to come on up. JJ, you can literally Google Trump's history of racism and it gives you many examples. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Cops have nooses in their lockers if they don't see you mad at. I don't see you mad about that. Oh, that's real things. The Golden Gate sings. He asked me what is your doctorate in? Which university? Great question. I get asked this a lot. I have a Juris Doctorate, which means that I have a law degree. Uh, However, with it being a law degree, I treated my law degree like a research degree, and I ended up writing a paper called "Militarized Police and Unpermitted Protests: Implementing Policy That Civilizes the Police." Now, why is that important? I published that paper in an academic journal, and I also won a research award as a result of my presentation of that paper. So when we look at the protests that were going on in 2014 with Mike Brown, and especially the 2020 protests that I was involved in and that many people all around the world were involved in, that is literally my research area. Literally my research area. So I'm a militarized police and protest expert, as well as blockchain and crypto expert. Let's see. The poor man playing to win. Let's see. What do we have here? This poor man playing to win. Shaby Baby, thank you for the follow. Look it up. They listen to CNN and ABC without going to do actual research. What does win mean to me? That's a good question. What does it mean to me? What does win mean to me? Win means to me that I have freedom to do what I want to do with my time. Winning means having my money go to the causes and purposes that I deem fit. Winning means being able to provide a legacy for my family and being able to provide protection and political influence for my family. That's what winning means to me. It means being able to walk into any room and being respected for my qualifications, for my experience, and for my contributions. That's what winning means to me. Shavy Baby says you can literally look up Trump's thoughts on racism. He is highly against it and has said so. Yep, has. Let's see. This is the weirdest excuse for voting for Trump. I think you need to try again. G. Bernardi, I don't think you heard my reasons for voting for Trump. JJ, even Malcolm X said Democrats are evil. Absolutely. Said be wary of the white liberal. Is half of America garbage? No, I think that I think a lot of America has garbage thoughts and have garbage education. With garbage education, we have garbage tolerance. We have thrown our Fourth Amendment and First Amendment and Second Amendment rights in the garbage. We've allowed our politicians to throw our rights in the garbage. And as a result, the very things, the Bill of Rights that keep us protected, that make us Americans, we keep throwing that in the garbage. So that's something else. DW9643 said, "Y'all keep it up. You're going to see." Yeah, I absolutely. I'm willing to take my chances underneath Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. Let's see. Matt Green, thank you for the follow. Clarice said Trump 2024. Going to see, DW said, going to see MAGA turn on your aces. Well, the thing is that I'm voting for my interests. I'm voting for the things that are going to fill my pockets, that are going to put me in the best position to win, right? I only have one vote. One vote. I can't waste it on all these other issues, on everybody else's issues. I have to vote for the things that are most important to me, right? So, are these other issues important? Yes, but what's going to affect my daily life? What's going to affect the family that I have and the family that I want to have? What's going to affect that, right? And those are the things that I have to vote for. A lot of people got MBAs. SA Rock said a lot of people got MBAs and TikTok videos and tweets. That's funny. That's funny. I actually have a MBA. I have a engineering degree, I have a law degree, and I have an MBA with a focus on finance. Let's see. Auntie B, thank you for the gifts and thank you for the rose. Lamb Chop said, Trump. Tell E you're voting for Trump because he helped Kevin find the lobby. That's funny. Auntie B, thank you for the likes. Mark Stein, my man, what's happening? Thank you for the gifts. Brian Davis, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Mark Stein said Trump 2024. Hey Mark, I'm rocking with you. You need to hop on one of my lives, man, and let your voice be heard, dude. Because I really appreciate you supporting a lot of my lives. Shaby said, why are all the celebs endorsing her a part of that list? You know, the one that's a hot topic right now. Look, man, the higher that you go up, you find out that a lot of these people know each other. A lot of these people are connected, and I see that. Right? I'm big in the crypto industry, and there are people in the crypto industry, international names, that know me because we roll in the same circles. Now, do they have the same level of publicity? They have more publicity than me, but the people that I'm rocking with, those are my peers. And politics, especially politics and entertainment, has this weird relationship because the politicians turn to the entertainers for their level of cultural influence and social influence. And so if you can get an entertainer to sign off on you, then people at least, well, maybe this is somebody I should look at. So that's something to think about. Let's see. If Trump loses this election, do you think he'll accept it? That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I don't know. I don't think it wouldn't be so much Trump. I would be thinking that it's probably more of his major supporters. Words don't follow his actions. Him saying he is racist, but actions speak. I want to see his actions. I want to see his actions. Let's see. 34 count felon Trump. Yep, absolutely. Cotton Fields. I don't know about Cotton Fields. Be Limitless You. Why are you voting for him? Crypto policy, business and tax policy, Second Amendment, and it stands on AB. That's why. He's not a felon. Well, he is a felon. President Trump, he's definitely a felon. Definitely a felon. He's got felony convictions. May the president who's for all people win. Let's see. Kumbali Satori said, good for you, man. Absolutely. Like I said, we have one vote. And we can focus, people say, oh, well, he wants to give police officers immunity, right? He wants to give police officers immunity. All right, there's several steps that have to go in order for that to happen. But let me present you. And the reason why I say this is because I want to level the playing ground. When we start talking about police immunity, well, Kamala Harris was the top law enforcement officer for a city and also for a state, but she does not have a record of going after bad police officers. She does not have a record of prosecuting police officers who violate the constitutional and civil rights of citizens. So, in essence, she gave them immunity. Let's give you an example. The only way in which somebody can be getting immunity is if they aren't held responsible. And the way that we hold people responsible is through the court system. So Kamala Harris, being a prosecutor, did not hold police officers accountable when she actually had the power to do it. So I just want you to think about that. Like, and this isn't saying, oh, her versus Trump. I'm saying if you're going to judge a candidate based upon, oh, well, their policy towards police, right? Well, let's level set that. Let's level set that. Wait, she wants to defund the police, right? Not that she wants to defund the police, but she took kind of she was known as like a political chameleon. So at times she would get the endorsement of the police union, and other times she wouldn't. When was an incident in the Bay Area where she would have to? Whoa! You must not be aware. You must not be aware of the ass whipping policy of California police. Thoughts on her swipe of my pin comments. Literally, she's got that power. She's got that power. She's got that power. Prosecute an officer. I get over 1.4 million a week. But he promised immunity, not her. She gave immunity when she was in power. That's my point. She gave immunity by not prosecuting. Right? So think about it this way. You got a mom and a dad. And you got a kid. And mom's got the belt. Mom's got the actual belt. Dad is over here. Dad is on the phone saying, "Hey, if you do this, you won't get in trouble." Right? Telling the kid that. Right? Well, we got mom who's at the house with the belt, and basically the kids did something. The police has did something, and now the kid doesn't get in trouble. What's the difference between the dad saying you won't get in trouble and he's on the phone saying it versus the mom who's actually there with the belt, not actually getting on the kid's ass? What's the difference? There is no difference. Both of them were not held accountable, and that's what I'm saying. Let's see. Harris 2024. I'm glad you're voting. Kambali said I voted for him too. Let's look. Slay DJ, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. What officer should have been prosecuted? Dude, there's thousands of police complaints. Watch this. Do you believe that police brutality is a problem in America? Yes or no? If you believe that police brutality is in America, cool. Do you believe that people report police brutality? Yes or no? Okay, if they report police brutality, who are the people that they are depending on to do something about the police brutality? You're depending on, hopefully, the police chief. You're depending on your city council person. Oh, but guess who's got the actual power to hold police officers accountable? The prosecutor, the DA, the district attorney, the attorney general. That's who you're counting on. However, if those people do not hold those officers accountable, does not investigate the case, and then file charges against them, the police officer gets away. Why do you think people can say, why do you think when we look at all these cases of police brutality, we see that these officers have like 10, 15, 30 complaints about excessive force and things like that, and you're like, well, why didn't anybody do anything about it? Because the DA, the district attorney, did not prosecute those people, did not do an investigation and prosecute those people. Why? Because those people are part of law enforcement, and law enforcement does not like to hold each other accountable. So what does law enforcement like to do? They like to provide immunity to each other. So let me ask you this. Should the spouse and children of the bad police officer be held accountable? Nah, that's not what I'm saying. JJ said, I know the Border Police Union endorsed Trump. Yeah, they did. Because they're looking at it like Donald Trump is going to give us the resources we need in order to do our job. Let's see. Hey Pete, thank you for the likes. Any cops that violates 18 USC 241. Let's see what we got. Rebecca, thank you for the likes. Slay DJ, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Which story is it? Defunding police or police immunity? Uh, I think there's a great article that was written earlier, talking about her mixed record, and she's given. So defunding police is one thing, right? Police immunity is another. She has been for police immunity. She doesn't have a history of prosecuting bad police officers. Let's see. Let's see. So, um, it's crazy because, like I said, black men specifically, if they were clear on the issues that affected them, if they were clear, if they understood how things affected them or the things that were most important to them, uh, they would be able to make intelligent decisions when it came down to who they were voting for. Do you think she will stop the wars that's going on? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, Israel has kind of forced the United States' hand that we're going to be involved in this Middle East conflict regardless. As I've told other people, that the World War III has already started. We just haven't. It just hasn't been officially declared yet. Um, and you're seeing that with the level of military and economic cooperation that goes on, that's been going on amongst different countries. So, for instance, South Korea has is training with the Russian army, and they're being deployed to Ukraine. So that's something to think about. Um, no, 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 no. Kamala Harris is part of the establishment. She is part of the a part of the establishment, and no, absolutely, absolutely. Ah, thank you, Khadija. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I have the absolute greatest audience. For everybody that is participating, that is liking the live, I really appreciate it because it's you, right? When you come to my live, when you come to my lives, I'm here to create more informed and involved citizens. And if you aren't being educated or not being, if you're not looking at these issues from a different perspective, then I'm not doing my job. And it's extremely important that we look at these issues from a different perspective. Now, a lot of people are they've already made up their mind about who they're voting for, and that's good. Some people haven't. Like I said, this is the first time that I voted for Donald Trump, um, and in the last election I voted for Kanye, and I can't remember who I voted for before that. Yeah, I can't remember who I voted for before that. Naveen, thank you for liking the live. I appreciate it. Brandy's Glam, thank you for liking the live. So yeah, just that's something to keep in perspective. That's something to keep in perspective. Let's see. Let's try it like that. Bam. Bam. Let's see. Myra, thank you for the roses. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Suze Hole, thank you. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So yeah, um, I just once again, I when you start to understand what really matters to you, you voted for Trump based off of what policies? Absolutely, absolutely, Anthony. I voted for him because of his stance on crypto policy, his stance on business and tax policy, his stance on the Second Amendment, as well as his stance on AB, and also with the Donald Trump presidency, everyday people have more access to Donald Trump than Kamala Harris, right? I'm saying this because I was able, the challenge, I was able to meet with Trump back in 2022, had dinner with him, had dinner with Kanye, Trump, Nick Fuentes was there as well. I got to have dinner with him and talk with him about crypto, blockchain policy, and HBCU policy. Uh, Kamala Harris, there's so many different handlers that you got to go through to be able to get to her. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I am black and I'm proud. I have emancipated myself from mental slavery. Harris all the way. Well, good. I'm happy for that. JJ said I voted based on policies too. Bucknut said you're an Uncle Tom. Well, if you actually read the story, Uncle Tom was actually the hero. That's the crazy part. Uncle Tom was actually the hero. Sambo was the sellout. But it's all good. Anthony Austin said, Myra said I voted for Trump because of his dancing. Drea Devilish said you support full police immunity and stop and frisk. Kamala Harris supports police immunity. You want to know how I know that? Because when she was a prosecutor, when she was a DA, and she was Attorney General, she did not prosecute officers who violated the civil and constitutional rights of citizens. So what's the difference between Trump saying he's going to give officers police immunity and Kamala Harris actually being in the position to hold police officers accountable, and she gives them immunity by not prosecuting them? This is why knowing civics and knowing government is so important. So let me help you guys understand why I'm qualified to talk about these things, since we like to talk about whether or not somebody's qualified to be president and things like that. So for those that are new to my channel and new to my podcast, my name is Dr. Jamar Montgomery. I am a former lawyer, politician, your favorite rapper's favorite political advisor, genius, businessman, entrepreneur, all of the above. I started college at the age of 11, started full-time at the age of 14, graduated at 19 with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I then went on to work for the United States Navy at the age of 19, where I became the youngest weapons systems engineer in the United States Navy's history. The system that is currently shooting down drones in the Red Sea, that was my system. So while I was working for the Navy, I also moonlighted with the NAACP as chair of legal redress, where I help people fight against discrimination. I help people with their EEOC complaints and got an understanding of the law. Well, in that understanding of the law, my mentor at the time put the bug in my ear about going to law school. So I ended up going to Southern University Law Center and got my Juris Doctor degree, my law degree, as well as I received my MBA from there. Once I graduated from there, I ended up, where did I end up? I ended up teaching political science at Southern University Shreveport. I was practicing law as a juvenile public defender for Caddo Parish. And then I ran for political office. I ran for United States Senate in the 2020 elections. I pissed off some very powerful people in the Democratic Party and some Republicans, but it was mostly the Democratic Party, and they went after my law license and took my law license. Crazy. After that I didn't allow that to stop me. In 2022, Kanye West gave me a call up and said, Dr. Jamar Montgomery, I need your help with my school and I need your help with my presidential campaign. I answered the call, met with him. We were on a plane. 3 days later, headed to meet up with President Trump. I was speaking about HBCU policy, crypto policy, and a few other things. I didn't allow that to stop me either. Ended up giving speeches during the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where the world's most powerful and richest and wealthiest people go to meet every year. Gave a speech in 2023, then met up with the Biden campaign during the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan, and then came back to the World Economic Forum in 2024 and gave a speech on the integration of blockchain and AI. Then was giving speeches in Seattle on the dangers of AI. So this is who is talking to you. Somebody that has been involved in politics, been involved in startups, been involved in technology, been involved in education. This is who is talking to you right now. Let's see. I had to give y'all my little background real quick. Let's see. On point, sir. Tom Misha. That's funny. That's Harris's policy. It's not at all. No, he wasn't. She throws single mothers in jails. Essence, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the live. Sue's Hole, Uncle Tom was definitely the hero. Yep. Bucknut says, stop lying. I asked how you felt about it. I told you how I felt about it. Stop lying. Honor to meet you. Kamala Harris prosecuted parents for child truancy. Yep. Uh, it's not blanket immunity to allow police to do whatever, and that wouldn't pass anyways. Thank you. If she didn't prosecute officers, I'm sure she was bound by the laws of her state. That's a what? She was bound by the laws of her state? How? Well, what stops Donald Trump from being bound by the laws, federal laws? That doesn't make sense. I'm so pissed off myself that I did not offer my civics course. Oh, I'm so pissed off myself. That is my fault. She was also against the death penalty, unlike MAGA is pro-life, but always for the death penalty. Or should I say sellouts? Bucknuts, I'm a sellout? Don't you ever in your life. Don't you ever in your life. You know nothing about me. Know nothing about me. Google Trump's First Step Act. He did more for the black community than Biden and Obama combined. You still didn't answer the question about how I feel. I don't understand what you mean. Drea, you're more than welcome to come on up and talk about what you're talking about. How did you develop all the street cred to give all these speeches? I did the work. I did the work. I focused on the things that I was passionate about and started learning about it. Kumbali Satori, thank you for I appreciate that. Said I got the follow. Bucknut said this live is goofy. You're more than welcome to give your opinion. Susie Ho, Wef, what were your impressions? You got to understand what everybody's interests are, and when it all comes down to it, recognizing that these large corporations hold a lot of power. They hold a lot of power, these large corporations. And so the same corporations that have offices here in the United States, have offices in Europe, have offices in Africa, have offices in Asia. And what they're always trying to do is navigate that tricky world so that they can have the best advantage. And the best thing that they can do is be involved in politics. And the thing about it is that many companies have found that it's most advantageous to be involved in American politics because American politics is one of the easiest ones to take control of, which is why money in politics is so dangerous, because large transnational organizations can make donations and influence our policy and influence our politicians. Why do you think that your politicians are unresponsive to what you actually have to say, and they give you a lot of lip service but do real service for these large companies? It's because those companies make donations, and whenever you make donations, your politician will answer the phone. Trust and believe me. Why? Because the people that donated to my campaign, when they called me up, I answered the phone and tried to do anything and everything I could in my power to help them. Oh, let's see. What exactly? Ocean P M. What exactly was the work? What exactly was the work? Well, I was teaching in blockchain. I've been teaching in blockchain since 2016. Developed a podcast. Developed a coin in 2016, 2017. Wrote papers on militarized police. Participated in protests and social movements. Helped organize social movements. What else did I do? What else did I do? What else did I do? Helped fight against helped in national security and worked in national security organizations. I mean, a quick look at my LinkedIn, a quick Google search will show you a lot of stuff about me. How do you feel about police immunity and stop and frisk? I think that police immunity, as long as black people don't get up and vote, and like a place in like Louisiana, black people didn't get up and vote. The problems that black people have is because they don't vote. They don't vote. Callie Gales followed the life creator. I appreciate that. Brandy's Glam, thank you for the follow. She said, follow, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate it. Bucknut said, be quiet, sell out. Who sold out? What did I sell out? I sold out victimhood. You absolutely right. What did I sell out? What did I sell out? Did I sell out on my people? Is that what you're saying? Okay. What did I sell out on? What did I sell out? Did I sell out on victimhood? Yeah, I sold out on victimhood. Did I sell out on excuses? Yeah, I sold out on excuses because I ain't got no more. What did I sell out on? I sold out on um, allowing my color and allowing my race to be the defining factor. The thing is making sure that you understand what your interests are. And when you don't understand what your interests are, when you don't when you don't know what your interests are, when you cannot prioritize your own interests, you get confused and distracted by all these other issues. Prime example, how many people know that there's other candidates on the ballot than just Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? All right? How many people know what the hell is going on with Diddy and the number of people that have been involved, the number of people that have made allegations against Diddy? I bet you know more about that than you know about all these other candidates. So what I'm saying is that you actually have no interest in what goes on with Diddy. It doesn't affect your pocketbook. It doesn't affect your children. It doesn't affect nothing. But you know what? Who's running for president does, and their policies do, right? And so this was the first election that I did not have a protest vote. I did not have a protest vote. And in this particular election, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump for his particular policies, but I voted more against Kamala Harris than I did voting for Trump. But I voted for my particular interest, right? So my first priority was voting for my interest. And if Kamala Harris would have been advocating for those things, she would have been advocating for crypto policy that was beneficial to me. If she'd been advocating for business and tax policy that was beneficial to me, if she would have been advocating for Second Amendment policy that was beneficial to me, if she would have been advocating for AB policy that was beneficial to me, she would have got my vote. But she didn't. And she's not. Nikki Hustle said people know there's others on the ballots, but the consensus is that voting for those others is a vote thrown away. Hey, I'm with that. I understand that. I understand that. You know, it's actual thrown away vote is people that actually don't vote. Because the amount of people that don't vote in elections, we could actually have a viable third party. Real talk. But once again, I get what people are saying. It's a vote thrown away because you want your particular party to win. Tangy Bell told Bucknuts, "You don't have to be here. Period. Goodbye." Yep. Um, this was my son's first election. He was able to vote for. I sat down, gave him a ballot, and him do. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is the voting it has to be a habit, right? Voting has to be a habit, and because it's like once you start getting into the thing of the into the group of voting, you're more likely to continue voting. And then when you start understanding, when I tell you, the moment that you donate your first dollars to a candidate, you look at politics totally different. What's going on to my sister-in-law, Candace? What's happening? The moment that you donate to a candidate, it changes things. The moment that you show up to a rally, it changes things for you. The moment that you decide that you're going to organize a movement or create an organization that's politically involved, things change for you. First time that you run for office, things change for you. Let's see. My first time voting Democrat and donated to RFK Jr. I'm talking about that. I'm with that. Republican, sorry, not Democrat. I get it. And the thing is you also have to look at you're voting for a team, right? You're voting for a team. You're voting for an administration. And one of the things that, I was originally voting for RFK Jr. I liked his policies. But when he said that he was basically dropping out or he wasn't necessarily going to be running as seriously, then I was like, all right, well, I really don't want to vote for Trump, but I guess that's what it is, right? But I know that RFK is going to be part of his administration. I know he's going to be part of the administration. Vivek Ramaswamy, right? And the thing is understanding who you are dealing with. Understanding who you're dealing with. I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be honest. I don't need you to be or even honest about who you are, right? Does Donald Trump lie? Yes, he does. But he makes the kind of lies, that any businessman, in his position is going to make lies about. Think about it this way. Donald Trump is a different kind of executive than a Jeff Bezos or any of these other corporate candidates. Prime example. There's a difference between CEOs of companies that are private versus CEOs that are public. There's a reason why Elon Musk talks all this trash as the CEO of SpaceX versus how Jeff Bezos talked when he was CEO of Amazon. It's totally different. It's totally different. Drea Devilish, you've asked me this question like 3-4 times. Here, I'm bringing you up because you asked me this like 3-4 times, and I've answered it 3-4 times. I'm bringing you up. I want to hear what you got to say. What's going on? Hello.
Come up here, number one.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely amazing. What's going on?
Do I have an echo?
No, you don't.
Okay, good. So I wanted to ask you specifically because I see a lot of Trump supporters on these lives, and I always ask the same question. I had to jump out for a minute because my phone was dying. But anyway, so if you address certain things that I had asked before I jumped out, I didn't see it because my phone was literally dying.
You see how you do me? I answer your questions like 2-3 times, and each time you ignore what I had to say. That's cold game.
No, I literally had to leave.
That's cold game.
1%.
That's cold game.
So
Go
I
ahead.
didn't hear any of your responses because I wanted to specifically ask about stop and frisk. Hang on. Because for me personally, being a sister to black men, being a wife to a black man, the idea of that and the reason it
Oh man.
was part of not Project 2025, but it's part of Agenda 47, that triggers me. Because the last thing I want to do is have to deal with my husband coming home saying that he was made to feel like a suspect and had to be subjected to a violation of his Fourth Amendment right just because these emboldened racists, which we know a lot of cops are racist, felt like they wanted to demean him and put him in his place. So for someone to put that into law, to put that into their plan for America, that doesn't sit well with me. That's number one. That's like my biggest gripe. Now, unlike a lot of people, I don't look at Trump as like, oh, he's a racist person. Do I think he has antiquated ideas of who black people are? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he sees black people in a way of people who need help and handouts and not as his equal. And I think that's true across the board. That's just my personal belief. From the things he says, from how he interacts with people, even when he says things about Byron Daniels as he's one of the good ones, he doesn't have an overall, in my opinion, good view of who black people are. So I already have reservations about that, but I don't necessarily put that label of racist on him. But when I look at that specific policy, stop and frisk police immunity, police are already emboldened to do what they want to do. Nothing stopped that man from shooting Sawyer Massey in her eye. Nothing stopped Derek Chauvin from kneeling on George Floyd. Nothing stopped them from doing that, and now you're going to give them even more protections. Now you want to bring back stop and frisk. That doesn't sit well with me.
I'm sorry. Were you finished?
No, go ahead. I see you trying to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah. I appreciate your perspective. Why do police officers feel that they can do that?
Do what?
That they can violate the constitutional and civil rights of citizens. Why do they feel that they can do that?
Because there isn't much accountability.
Who's the people that are supposed to hold those police officers accountable?
There's a whole lot. You start with your mayor. You start with the sheriff. You start, chief of police, not the sheriff. You start with a lot of people locally, right?
Okay.
We're not talking about local policies. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but go ahead.
But we're talking about something at the federal level. When the president says this is my agenda, that now becomes a federal
let me
policy.
Let me help you. Let me walk you through this real quick. So if there are people, if police officers already feel that they can do this and get away with it, right? Then we have to look at who are the people that are responsible for holding these individuals accountable, right? Well, the people who actually have the power of holding these people accountable, of actually throwing these people in jail, excuse me, are the prosecutors, are the district attorneys and attorney generals.
I understand.
Hold on.
My point is, we're talking about someone who's running for president of the United States.
Hold on.
This is part of their agenda that they're running on.
Hold on.
This isn't about local police at this point.
Hold on.
He's saying, I will make sure you get the proper funding and resources you need if you implement certain procedures such as stop and frisk that we found to be very beneficial. I find that to be problematic because we know why they stopped stop and frisk in the first place, because it was disproportionately impacting specifically black men. So that's one of my issues with his plan. The other thing that I want to, and let me just ask this before you go into your response, because you don't have to respond to that. It's, to me, I understand where you're going with it as far as, yes, there is a local responsibility there, of course, because they're ran by their chief of police, who then reports to the mayor, and so I get all that. But I'm trying to understand, if that's the case, why would you as a presidential candidate feel important for you to highlight that? But that's neither here nor there. The other thing that I always ask people who support Trump is, what are his specific policies? Because that's the question that they ask about Kamala. What are her policies? What are her policies? Now, I am a person who supports the idea of reparations. Do I think reparations should be a check to every African, they say African descendant of slave, that's the new term now? Not necessarily, because what that would end up doing is turning into a big payday for other communities. Because we do not have enough resources. We're not a self-sufficient community. We could not commit to spending in only black businesses for 1 month and survive. We just don't have enough businesses in order for us to do that. So giving black people a check would just mean stimulating other people's wealth. But and the point where I'm making with this is, if I was to ever think about what does a plan look like to help empower black people to build generational wealth, it will look a lot like Kamala Harris's plan. Because her plan addresses one big issue that black Americans have is access to capital. That's like one of the top issues outside of our interactions with police and interactions with the law, etc., is access to capital. And so to say, I'm going to give you, and I know people ask, well, how do you pay for it? Whatever the case may be. But that's a big issue. How do I fund my business? How do I make sure everybody knows, anybody who's ever been an entrepreneur, that first year, there is no profit there for most businesses. So you have to be able to pay those taxes back, and you're giving me a tax credit. You're giving people assistance to buy a home. To me, those are some of the initial steps to help level the playing field. So my responsibility, if she wins, is to make sure that I'm educating my community, like, hey, here is a good plan to get you on your feet, to help you get on the path of generational wealth. And the biggest problem, people don't even know that a lot of these programs exist. They don't know. So I feel like if she wins, my goal and responsibility is to make sure that as many people who look like me benefit from it. Because those are the things I feel we need to empower our community. But I always ask the question with Trump supporters specifically, because I read Agenda 47.
Are you going?
I listen to his rallies. I'm trying to find.
Are you going to?
Where is it in his?
Are you going to allow me to answer?
That it's for people.
Are you going?
Like me. I am going to let you. I will get my point across. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like?
I'm going to mute myself because I got.
Hold on, real quick. Do you feel like I gave you enough time to speak? To say what you to ask your question multiple times? Do you feel like I gave you enough time?
That's why I muted myself.
All right, cool. All right. So, all right. When we talk about stop and frisk and police immunity, stop and frisk is implemented on a local level. Stop and frisk was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there are things that you say to rally up your base, and then there are things that you can actually implement via law. And he could not do that via law. So him saying that is him pandering to his base. I understand.
Question.
Did I, sister? You asked you asked
You had me ask. I'm
you
gonna put it on back burner. Go ahead.
you asked me like 3-4 different questions. You asked me like 3-4 different questions, and then are asking for me to explain. So it can only be implemented. You cannot implement stop it. You cannot implement stop and frisk. Right now, saying police immunity. Okay, if you have a problem with police immunity, right? He's saying that that's what he wants to give. If you have a problem with President Trump saying he wants to give police more immunity, then you should also have a problem with Kamala Harris giving police officers immunity when she was the DA and when she was the Attorney General, the two positions that are actually responsible, directly responsible for holding police officers accountable, right? So, you're talking to somebody that was a juvenile public defender that dealt with unconstitutional stops, that watched 80% of my clients were black and 60% of my clients were black boys. So you're talking to somebody that dealt with, and I was in Louisiana. I was in racist Louisiana. So absolutely, I understand. Once again, you have your constitutional rights, and if you would have had if you would have had district attorneys that when I caught them lying on the stand and the prosecutor said, I'm charging you with an offense because you just sat up here and violated this person's rights and you think that you can get up on this stand and lie, right? That would send a message to police officers. So what is the difference between somebody that's saying they want to give police officers immunity but has to go through a bunch of legislative steps in order to make that happen versus somebody who actually had the position where they could hold police officers accountable and they're not held accountable? So that's that.
Are you able to provide any resources that I could look at, not necessarily right now, but after this, to see where there was an opportunity where she should have or could have prosecuted officers? Can you please share those?
Absolutely, and I'll share. It's a CNBC. It's a NBC. Hold on, I was just looking at the article not too long ago. The reason why I'm saying this is the same reason that you're worried about your husband going being brutalized is the same reason why is this is the same reason why there's so many cops who have excessive force violations on their record, but nobody is like, oh, well, why are they still on the force? They're still on the force because the prosecutors aren't holding them accountable. So that's that. The 3 policies that I'm most focused on when it comes to me that are important to me: crypto policy. Are they pro Bitcoin, pro cryptocurrency, pro reducing the taxes on cryptocurrency? Are they pro making sure that businesses have less regulation and make the business environment for entrepreneurs less risky? Is this somebody that is going to protect the Second Amendment and make sure that I have access to firearms? And then lastly, her policy on President Trump's policy on AB, right? Those are the things that are most important to me. And so I'm looking for a candidate that is going to speak to my issues. I'm not searching for a candidate. I'm not searching for a candidate and seeing which part of their policies that I like. I'm looking at the policies that are important to me and then searching for the candidate that's going to speak to those. Absolutely.
What specifically about AB are you most concerned with?
Violates the property rights of fathers. It violates the property rights of fathers or the parental rights of fathers.
So what do you think about the unintentional, and I'm going to assume it's unintentional, but what do you assume about the unintentional impact that has led to women who were not necessarily seeking an AB voluntarily, but because of things that happened within their body that resulted in them not being able to carry a child and them not getting the proper health care that they needed, that led to some women dying, some women not being able to have any other pregnancies in the future because of how long some of these doctors have waited. What are your thoughts around some of those unintended impacts?
I think that the maternal health crisis is something that needs to be absolutely addressed. and the fact that we need to have clearer laws on AB so that situations like that happen. However, situations where it is as a result of a woman's trying to save a woman's health are pale in comparison to the amount of ABs that are occur as a result of sexually irresponsible behavior.
I can't say that though. Well, I did not say that, but I don't agree in the sense that we're literally talking about people dying.
Yeah, how many people are dying?
I understand the argument about protecting the life of the fetus.
How many?
But I also feel like
how many people are dying?
And I feel like the people, when they say we're going to take it out of the federal and we're going to give it to the state, who in the state has a medical degree? Who in the state can speak to the issues that women actually face when they're in there with their doctor? Because nobody knows each woman's individual health history. And when you think about it, a lot of women, when we have children, it's almost equivalent to playing Russian roulette. Because you can get pregnant, have a healthy pregnancy. You can get pregnant and lose your eyesight. You can get pregnant and lose certain features. Like you can get gestational diabetes. You can get have issue with your fibroids. Like it's so many things that can happen when a woman is pregnant. It's not as simple as abortion.
Yeah,
I think that
here's
grown people are making these decisions.
Here's let's
it's really not about what the state thinks.
I mean, well, the thing is let's look at the statistics. It says pregnancy mortality is the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of giving birth, right? And that is 22.3 per 100,000 live births, all right? Versus when it comes to AB, it is move that 9. That's 159. That's 1,590. That's 15,900 per 100,000 births. So,
sir, one is too many.
Go ahead.
When you talk about maternal mortality, one is too many.
I agree. I agree.
In the context of black women.
Can I say that? Can I say that one too many of children being unalived is one too many as well? When it's not when it's as a result of sexually irresponsible behavior.
When it comes to that, number one, we have to do more about taking care of the children that are actually alive. They're actually born into this world. We don't protect our children.
Yep.
We don't have harsh sentencing for people who violate children sexually.
Yep.
We're not making sure that children are fed. There are a lot of children living in poverty.
Yep.
We don't protect children in classrooms, right? So when you talk about parents or mothers who choose not to carry a child, think about the world that they're bringing that child into.
Yep.
Let's address those things first. Because I think there's a way that we can have incentives or have programs in place to make sure that people are having children in a healthy environment so that it wouldn't be so many slip-ups. I'm also a person who believes, and I think this stemmed from a joke from D.L. Hughley where he said, just like women can have a choice, men should have a choice. I'm actually a woman who believes that. A man should have a choice in that the first 3 months he decides if he wants to be a participant in that child's life or not. I know a lot of women don't agree with that, but I think that would deter a lot of women from having unwanted pregnancies, right? So I'm not necessarily all about the man doesn't have a choice, the man doesn't have a word, but I feel like to go to an extreme and prevent women from making that choice, I don't think that that's right. As a woman, that's not right. And I don't think that the government should have a say or my state should have a say on what happens between me and the doctor. Like, nobody's talking to you about your prostate, your kidneys, your whatever.
Yes, they are.
On the state level.
Yes, they are.
Your doctor.
Yes, they are. You want to know how they talk? You want to know how they talk to me?
How do they talk to you?
If I don't register for selective service, that they'll throw me in jail.
Boo. Boo. When has that happened? Boo.
Plenty of times. It's a felony.
Give me a point. When's the last time we had an active draft?
The last time that we had but hold on. That should be even more of a reason. The fact is that it's not the fact is that I have to register for selective service regardless.
When's the last time
Vietnam.
men were drafted in the war?
Vietnam.
Compare that to how many women have died in the last 2 to 3 months.
You asked about laws applying to men's bodies.
Okay, is that law applying to when you go to the doctor, which is a very private encounter?
It applies to
any law that prevents you from getting the health care or the services that you require or need for your body?
It applies. Are you going to talk over me? Or are you going to allow me to talk?
I want you to focus on the end. I don't want to talk about the draft. I want to talk about when
are you going to wait? Hold on. Hold on. Have I cut you off? Have I talked? Have I talked?
Answer the question.
Have I forced you? Have I forced you on a question? Have I did any of that? Have I overtalked you?
Answer the question. When you're in the room with
have I dealt with you with disrespect? Have I dealt with you with disrespect?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. So is it so would it be so you're cut you're cutting
fine with a lot of Trump supporters is they repeat a lot of the same talking points. That's why I overtalked you, but I apologize. Go ahead.
You asked a question about men's bodies. Okay. Yes, I have to register for selective service, and I am not eligible for government services if I do not sign up for selective service. Does that have to deal with me going for health care? No, but the simple fact is you're talking about if a government is not supposed to be telling people what to do with their bodies. Hey, here's an example where it happens to men. Is it on the level of male health? No, it's not. I grant that. I get that. The challenge is when you say that the state should not be involved, the government should not be involved, you are the government. You and I are the government.
No.
We are the government.
There is no state. First of all, Black women in the majority support reproductive freedom, but there is no state in America where Black women are the majority. So we will never be able to get our way on this topic.
Do you know that the most dangerous do you know that more Black people are killed from AB than by any other health cause or even police combined?
I understand that. You understand that we're still
now
we still have the most people living in poverty today. Let's address that first, and then let's look at those statistics.
A lot of people are making those choices. Poor people, if you know what, poor people are still having sex. People in bad financial positions are still having irresponsible sex.
The ones that having abortions are in poverty.
No, it's not.
It's not a lot of middle class Black
yes, it
women
is.
Abortions.
Yes, it is.
Show me the statistics. I'm still waiting on the other statistics.
You're waiting on the other statistics. Hold on.
Sorry, the resources about opportunities where Kamala failed to hold police officers accountable.
I don't know. Maybe you're gonna overtalk. Maybe you're gonna overtalk me. Maybe you're gonna overtalk me and not allow me to provide that either. I said I was gonna provide it a little bit later. All right. What are the most common types of abortion? Oh, let's see. How many? Let's go here. What are the demographics? 57% were in their 20s. 31% were in their 30s. Teens ages 13 to 19 accounted for 8%. The vast majority of women were unmarried, 87%. Let's see, 42% of all women who had them were Black women. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go to economic demographics of. Let's go here. Hold on. Economic demographics. Let's go here. 42% of the women who received an AB had a family income less than 100% of the federal poverty level. So 42% were at the poverty level. The other 58% were above.
Yeah.
So
That's a
above
strong number. That's
so
not by racial demographic
so
either.
above poverty. 58%.
42 is a very strong number. I just want
But
to point that out.
the you said
And I also
you
want
said
to
you
point
said
out
most you said most
my point
you
that
said
it's many women of
most
color.
you said most
Do
were
not say
in poverty.
demographic, specifically
Hold
around
on.
black
We
people.
gotta
I'm talking about
address
black
we
women.
gotta address the statement you made. You said most. Most would be over
I also said
50%.
black women.
And most abortions are by black women.
Okay, but that's not a true statistic to what the point that I was making.
What's a true statistic to the point you was making?
What percentage of specifically black women have had abortions based on income level, as far as if they're in the poor or middle class? I would say with a great deal of confidence that the majority of black women
Show me statistics. Show me
are living in
statistics.
poverty.
You haven't provided. I've been the one providing all the statistics, and you have not provided any. You've provided your feelings.
Right now, I would, but you probably hear this little baby on my lap.
Hey, what? Hey, I didn't have nothing to do with the statements you made. I have nothing to do with the statements you made. Right? I had to come with with my research. Right? I had to come.
Here's where we're gonna go with it, because my phone is all jacked up. I already voted.
Now all of a sudden your phone's jacked up.
And I know you're probably not going to change your mind at the end of the day. My only hope when it comes to this election, well, a couple things. One, I appreciate that more people are involved in politics that have ever been involved in politics before. Like, I appreciate TikTok. I appreciate people that go on live. I appreciate the conversations that's being had, because people are learning about a system that impacts all of us, but historically we have not paid attention to. That's number one. And number two, I hope that after all of this, no matter who wins, because I'm a believer of God and I believe that he's the true president, I don't really care at the end of the day. Yes, I supported Kamala, but if she doesn't win, I'm not going to go sit in the corner and cry, because at the end of the day, God is still in control. But I hope after all of this, no matter who wins, that we find some level of peace and solidarity, because the hatred and the divisiveness and the disrespect is causing rage on such a high level that I don't see how we can move on from this.
Well,
but you go ahead and you have yourself a blessed night. I'm going to come back to this after I scroll some more, and I'm going to look for that resource of opportunities where Kamala could have and should have held police officers accountable, and she failed to do so. I'm going to wait for that statistic.
Good.
That article.
Good.
But you have a good night.
You as well. Thank you.
All right.
There we go. So there we have it, y'all. There we have it. Once again, do you see how I named 4 different policies, and the one thing that gets hung up is on AB. The fact that is the linchpin for why people fight for Kamala Harris should tell you something. It should tell you that, outside of all those other things, the only thing that people can really focus on and hone on in is AB. And they call it reproductive freedom, call it all those things, but most of the ABs that are had are not for the health of the woman. It's as a result of sexually irresponsible behavior. Point blank period. And any candidate that is pushing for that is a problem. It's a problem. We can't say that Black Lives Matter, but Black lives don't matter when they're in the womb. Or the only person's life who matters in that position is the mother. Like I said, I'm not talking about the 3 exceptions, because I'm a supporter of the 3 exceptions: rape, incest, and for the health of the mother. I get that. I get that. It is our our nation is in a lot of danger because it's things are marketed to us in such a way, like who's going to be against reproductive freedom? You want freedom. We live in the land of freedom, right? But when you start looking into what reproductive freedom actually means, it tells you everything that you need to know. It tells you absolutely everything that you need to know. Can't wait for this election to be over. My money's on Trump. Yeah, my money's on Trump. Um, I think there's a platform called Kalshi that allows you to bet. But I appreciate everybody for their comments. Let's see. Let's go through here because while I was spending all that time talking to her, Sharinda Bailey said, "You said at least be honest, right? At least be honest," and turn around and said Trump lied. Yeah. The thing is I'm looking for a level of predictability, right? A level of predictability. What do I mean? I expect Trump to lie about stuff when it comes to his ego. When his ego is involved, I expect Trump to lie. When it comes to caring about the American people, I do believe that he actually cares about the American people. Because there's no reason why you would leave a cushy empire to run for office if you didn't think it was already going to be profitable for you and if you didn't think that you could do something good for the people. Kumbali said they all lie at this point. Absolutely. But the reasons are different. Both parties say dumb stuff sometimes, but research their policies. Yep. I really like the borders. One of the big ones for me. The inflation is a big one. Why don't we talk about how the Biden administration banned the First Amendment from social media? People think we live in a democracy. We do not. Until I realized what they were doing, taking our rights away, censoring us, dividing us. Then they say it's Trump. Yeah. But yeah. Thanks everybody for who showed up. And Jesus loves you. I love you too. Jesus Christ has changed my life. And if you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, I encourage you to go and get one. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life. That is a real thing. That is a real thing. As I started to change my life and turn things around, I watched how God responded to me. I watched that his word was living, that his word is living, and that he is good to his promises, and that he stands by his promises, and his promises is his word. So, as I changed my life, I started removing the things that kept me in bondage. Lust, anger, jealousy. Started removing those things from my life, and my life started changing. So when you start having your relationship with Jesus Christ, you will see a change in your life. I hope everybody has a great night, great evening. Y'all be blessed. I love y'all, and y'all take care.